A humble single father opened his home to a mysterious girl for a single night, not knowing she was the daughter of a millionaire destined to fall in love with him. "You should not be out here alone," Ethan said, his voice a steady whisper against the relentless downpour that danced upon his shoulders. At 2 in the morning, this place becomes a canvas of solitude, where the shadows whisper stories of those who dare to linger. The girl spun around, her heart racing, her hair soaked and clinging to her face. Her wide eyes, filled with trepidation, scanned her surroundings before finally resting on him. "I do not need your pity," she snapped, wrapping her arms around herself more tightly. Ethan approached with intention, mindful of the space between them. He stood there in his city sanitation uniform, the reflective stripes softly illuminating beneath the streetlight, a quiet testament to his dedication. He stated, "I am not extending pity." In a moment of uncertainty, she paused, contemplating the sanctuary I was extending, one filled with warmth, flowing water, and a refuge from the dangers posed by unfamiliar hands. Her lips trembled, a subtle reflection of deeper emotions beyond the chill of the air. He noticed the quiver in her fingers, the way her gaze drifted toward the shadowy end of the block, as if she were anticipating a visitor or fearing the return of someone from her past. "What transpired?" he inquired, his voice softened with compassion. She cast her gaze downward. "I found myself in a moment of reflection. I experienced a theft. My phone has run out of power. My bag has vanished." Ethan allowed the silence to linger, embracing its weight and depth. In that moment, he released a breath, a quiet surrender to the depths of his being. "Do you feel the urge to reach out to someone?" With a gentle shake of her head, she conveyed a world of unspoken thoughts. "I find myself in a moment of solitude, seeking the quiet of my own thoughts. I seek a sanctuary, a refuge, until the dawn breaks." Ethan paused, caught in a moment of reflection. His intuition urged him to turn away. At home, he cherished a 6-year-old daughter, a beacon of responsibility that left no space for uncertainty. Yet there was an undeniable quality in her stance, a delicate intertwining of pride and fear that stirred something deep within him, prompting him to move beyond contemplation and into decisive action. With a thoughtful nod, he adjusted the strap on his work bag, ready to embrace the journey ahead. "I reside just 2 blocks away from this very place. Though it may seem modest, it carries a warmth that resonates deeply. It is perfectly fine to find solace on the couch for the night." She appeared poised to engage in another debate, yet in that moment her knees trembled ever so slightly. "Very well," she whispered, her voice a mere breath. They traversed the path in quietude. Ethan maintained a measured distance, honoring the space yet remaining ever observant. As they arrived at his modest duplex, he gently unlocked the door, inviting her to enter with a graceful gesture. The house exuded a gentle warmth, softly illuminated, a testament to life well lived. Children's books adorned the shelf, and a small pink backpack rested by the door, whispering stories of adventure and imagination. "Remove your shoes here," he invited, pointing to a welcoming mat. "The couch awaits you for the night, a sanctuary of comfort and rest. A cozy blanket awaits you in the closet, ready to provide warmth and comfort." She nodded silently, brushing the rain from her cheeks with her sleeve. Ethan made his way to the rear of the house, stepping into a modest room filled with an array of boxes, each holding untold stories and memories. He carefully set his wallet and keys in a locked drawer, not from distrust, but from a deeply ingrained habit shaped by the trials of life. He came back carrying a blanket, a fresh towel, and a dry sweatshirt, each item a testament to his thoughtfulness. He gestured to the right, offering them with a sense of purpose. "If you feel inclined, you may choose to take a shower. It takes a moment for the water to embrace warmth." With both hands, she grasped the bundle, her gaze momentarily drifting to his face, a swirl of confusion igniting within her at his calm demeanor. "What motivates you to take this path?" at last she inquired. Ethan gently massaged the back of his neck, a moment of quiet reflection washing over him. Your need for assistance resonated with me, and I can only wish for the same kindness to be extended to my daughter should she ever find herself in a difficult situation. The girl appeared to recoil at the mention of the word daughter, yet remained silent. In a moment of quiet reflection, Ethan took a pen and poured his thoughts onto a piece of paper, leaving it beside a warm mug of water he had lovingly heated in the microwave. Then, with a gentle hush, he slipped down the hallway into the sanctuary of the bedroom he shared with his beloved little girl. Clara stepped out of the bathroom 20 minutes later, enveloped in the warmth of the oversized sweatshirt. In the stillness of the house, a profound silence enveloped the space. On the coffee table beside the sofa lay a neatly folded blanket, a mug of warm water, and a note, each item a quiet testament to comfort and reflection. Should you wish to reach out to someone, the landline awaits your call upon the wall. Embrace the warmth that awaits you in the closet, where more blankets are ready to envelop you in comfort. Kindly ensure that the door remains closed. My daughter possesses a delicate sensitivity to the world around her. She gazed at the note, her fingers gently caressing the rim of the cup, lost in thought. The warmth flowed through the ceramic, embracing her skin, and in that moment she experienced a sensation that had eluded her for days. Secure. She nestled into the couch, enveloped by the warmth of the blanket, as the gentle rain whispered its soothing melody outside. The man who welcomed her into his life had not inquired about her name, nor had he shared his own. He had not diminished her spirit, nor made her feel beholden or scrutinized. In that moment, the identity of the man before her faded into the background, overshadowed by the significance of the encounter itself. She would embrace the night in restful slumber, and with the dawn clarity would illuminate her path forward. Clara awoke to the joyful echoes of laughter, a voice bright and clear, resonating with the innocence of youth. In that fleeting instant she found herself enveloped in a haze of confusion. The gentle embrace of the soft blanket enveloped her, while the comforting aroma of warmth wafted from the kitchen, accompanied by the soothing murmur of cartoons playing softly in the background. The contrast was striking, a serene departure from the tumult of the previous night. She rose gently, her eyes fluttering open to embrace the tender glow of the morning light. In the cozy embrace of the small living room, a little girl sat cross-legged on the carpet, her imagination soaring as she crafted a tower from vibrant plastic blocks. Her curls danced with joy as she laughed softly, blissfully unaware of Clara's stirring presence. "Good morning, Clara," whispered softly, her voice carrying a tender rasp. The child gazed upward, her face illuminating with a spark of wonder. "Greetings, you are the enchanting princess who graced our couch with your presence," she remarked with a joyful spirit. Clara paused, her eyes wide with wonder. "May I have a moment of your attention?" The girl spoke with a sense of pride. "My name is Sophie." Father spoke of a kind woman who sought refuge, her spirit dampened by the rain's embrace. In that moment, Clara chuckled, her first genuine smile illuminating her face in days. "I suppose that reflects who I am." "It is a pleasure to encounter you, Sophie." A voice resonated from the heart of the kitchen. "Sophie, as we embark on the morning ritual of breakfast, would you lend a hand in transforming our toast into a delightful char?" Sophie's laughter danced through the air as she joyfully sprinted toward the kitchen. Clara rose, extending her limbs, and moved forward with a gentle pace, her body still bearing the echoes of a night spent in unfamiliar repose. As she entered the modest kitchen, she beheld Ethan skillfully cracking eggs into a bowl with one hand, while his other hand gracefully stirred a simmering creation in the pan. "You cook?" she inquired, her voice a delicate blend of admiration and surprise. Ethan cast a thoughtful gaze in the direction of the unfolding moment. Will Sophie find the courage to embrace it? Are you willing to lend your support? Clara paused, contemplating her next move. I am willing to give it a go, though I must admit that my skills in domestic matters are not particularly strong." With a gentle smile, he handed her the whisk, a simple gesture that spoke volumes of encouragement and connection. I find myself in the same place. In this home, the charred remnants of toast serve as a reminder of our journey, a testament to our willingness to embrace imperfections and learn from them. Her laughter erupted, a delightful surprise that caught even her off guard. In the warmth of the small kitchen, they danced together in harmony, Sophie ascending onto a stool, her small hands spreading butter on slices of bread, while Clara, with determination, endeavored to flip the scrambled eggs, creating a moment filled with shared purpose and joy. Indeed, she stumbled along the way. In a moment of unexpected chaos, the spatula slipped from her grasp, sending the bowl tilting precariously. Eggs cascaded across the counter and splattered onto the floor, a vivid reminder of the beauty found in life's unpredictable moments. Clara inhaled sharply, her breath catching in a moment of surprise. "Alas, this is not what I had hoped for." As she extended her hand toward the towel, Sophie swiftly claimed it, first embodying the spirit of seizing the moment. The young girl offered her a paper towel, her face alight with a joyful smile. All is well. Father, too, finds himself in moments of clumsiness, often spilling things in the dance of daily life. Clara gazed at her for a moment, and then a wave of authentic laughter erupted from her being. Ethan remained silent, a gentle smile gracing his lips as he thoughtfully gathered the remaining eggs back into the pan, continuing his culinary task with a serene determination. As they gathered around the table for breakfast, Clara cast a hesitant glance at the plate before Ethan, her heart filled with unspoken thoughts. She had poured her heart into the meal, yet the eggs bore the marks of her effort. The toast carried a hint of char, and the bacon revealed its own unique texture. Yet Ethan savored each and every morsel. "This is truly remarkable," he remarked, with unwavering sincerity. "There is no need for deception," Clara responded, her eyebrow arching in curiosity. Ethan declared with unwavering conviction, "I am not lying. It is nourishing and delightful. That truly matters." Sophie prodded at her meal, savoring each bite with a sense of purpose. Clara averted her gaze, striving to remain detached. Following the meal, Ethan rose and gathered the dishes, embodying a quiet sense of responsibility. "Take a moment to unwind, both of you. I will handle this with utmost dedication." Clara extended her hand in kindness, yet he gently declined her offer. As she and Sophie transitioned to the living room, she turned her gaze back and observed him quietly lifting another plate from the oven filled with warm scrambled eggs and toast, a simple yet heartfelt moment unfolding. He had prepared an alternative dish for Sophie just to ensure her comfort. Her silence spoke volumes. As the morning unfolded, Clara guided Sophie in the creation of a Lego house, and in that tender moment, the little girl leaned in and shared a whisper. "The eggs that Daddy prepared afterward were indeed superior, yet it's all right. He still partook of what was yours." Clara's eyebrows lifted in surprise. "Did he achieve even greater success?" Sophie acknowledged with a gentle nod. "Yet he entrusted me with a secret, urging me to keep it close to my heart." Ah, a moment of oversight. Clara rose from her seat, made her way to the kitchen, and paused, resting against the doorframe, a moment of reflection enveloping her. Ethan lifted his gaze momentarily, pausing in the midst of savoring his second plate of eggs. With her arms crossed, she stood resolute. In a moment of distraction, breakfast met an untimely end in the flames of my kitchen. Yet even in this small setback, there lies a lesson waiting to be uncovered. He offered a shy smile, a gentle reflection of his inner thoughts. "You prepared a nourishing breakfast. That is what truly holds significance. Why not share your thoughts with me?" Ethan let out a gentle shrug, a subtle gesture that spoke volumes. The initial experience of embarking on a new endeavor often unfolds in a chaotic manner. All it takes is for someone to embrace it, regardless of the circumstances. Clara gazed at him, and in that stillness a profound change stirred within her heart. He was a singular presence, a soul unlike any she had ever encountered. Genuine, compassionate, free from pretense, and possessing a patience that effortlessly put her at ease. She spoke gently, recalling your words from last night about your hope that someone would be there to support your daughter if she ever found herself in need. Ethan, your role as a father is truly commendable. He offered no words, merely a gentle smile before turning his attention back to his eggs. In a moment of quiet reflection, as the water flowed and the dishes sparkled, Ethan shared his thoughts with a sense of ease. A laundromat awaits just down the block, a humble space where the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. The proprietor is a cherished companion. If you find yourself in the city for an extended time, I would be glad to offer my assistance should you need it. Clara paused, caught in a moment of reflection. Perhaps. In this moment of anticipation, I seek opportunities to generate income as I await the unfolding of necessary processes. I have experienced a profound loss. Is it akin to having a profession and an identification? In response, she simply said something like that. I am on a journey of learning and discovery. Or perhaps it once was, beyond the borders, intricate matters. Ethan chose to respect the boundaries set before him. He simply nodded, a silent acknowledgement of the moment shared. If you're interested, I can show you the laundromat. I will guide you on this journey. Clara gazed at him once more, her eyes reflecting a depth of understanding. This man remained oblivious to the depths of her true self, and in his heart he felt no concern. His assistance to her stemmed not from a sense of duty, but from the very essence of his being, and that in a way made her feel more acknowledged than anything wealth could ever provide. The gentle chime of the bell above the laundromat door resonated as Clara crossed the threshold, stepping into a world of possibility. The scent of detergent, intertwined with an undercurrent of something sour and metallic, enveloped her in a sudden wave. The rhythmic clanking of machines echoed through the space, while baskets brimmed with clothes, and the air enveloped everything in a warm, heavy embrace. A woman behind the counter seemed lost in her own world, her gaze fixed on the tasks at hand, barely lifting her eyes to acknowledge the moment unfolding around her. "Are you a friend of Ethan's?" she inquired. Clara offered a thoughtful nod. A woman extended an apron to her, a simple gesture that held the promise of new beginnings. The journey begins at this very moment. And in that fleeting moment, she found her place. As the clock struck noon, a deep ache settled in Clara's back, a reminder of the burdens she carried. Her hands bore the marks of her labor, stained with soap and fabric softener, while the weight of two customers' sharp words lingered in the air. One person claimed that another had diminished the size of his sweater. Another entrusted her with 3 bags of damp clothes, stating, "I expect this by 5 to you before departing." She gazed at the clock, contemplating the passage of time. Just 3 hours have passed. As the sun began its descent, she found herself in the alley behind the laundromat, leaning against the wall, her apron marked by the day's labor, and her cheeks aglow with the warmth of effort. Her phone, silent and lifeless, lingered in her coat pocket, a reminder of moments unshared. She gazed at the dumpster before her, contemplating the choice to turn away, to retreat to the shelter, to seek solace in anything but this moment. As she stepped back into Ethan's house that evening, silence enveloped her. She placed her bag down, gently settled onto the edge of the couch, and removed her shoes, a pained expression crossing her face as she revealed the blisters that marred her heels. Ethan observed the subtle shift, yet he chose to remain silent. The following morning, Clara awoke to discover a pair of pristine white sneakers waiting patiently by the door. No label, no indication, yet unmistakably not belonging to her. She selected one perfectly balanced, resilient, a true reflection of her essence. Within the confines of a single shoe, a small piece of paper lay folded with care. I came to the realization that your feet are worthy of something greater. If you choose to walk away, let it be with a heart unburdened by pain." She lingered in that moment, cradling the shoes, before finally stepping into them. As Ethan stepped through the door after his night shift, he found her in the kitchen, immersed in the simple yet comforting act of preparing toast. "You chose to stay," he said. "I nearly succumbed," she responded. "Yet your persuasive footwear held sway over me." Ethan wore a knowing smile, for their intentions were not to burden your heart with guilt. Indeed, it was intended to convey that you possess the power of choice. That is everything. Later that week, she expressed her weariness once more. After folding what felt like an infinite array of towels, she sighed, rubbing her neck, and confessed, "I have never felt this exhausted before. I used to believe that yoga was challenging." Ethan lifted his gaze from the laundry bag he was meticulously sorting through. "You are now acquiring something truly meaningful." She cast him a weary gaze, a silent testament to the weight of her experiences. "Are you referring to discomfort in the back? Consider the liberation that comes from crafting your own path through your labor. Even when your hands are stained, it remains yours. That is something that remains solely yours." Clara paused, allowing those words to linger in her mind, their weight resonating within her. On that Friday, the laundromat embraced a significant delivery order for a nearby hotel. They faced the daunting task of washing, drying, and folding more than 100 sheets and uniforms before the dawn broke. Clara chose to remain, offering her support to Ethan as they completed the task together. They toiled into the depths of night, the fluorescent lights casting a steady glow above them. Ethan folded with a quiet grace, his movements swift and deliberate. Clara faced a challenge, her hands tirelessly unfolding and refolding the same shirt, each attempt a step toward mastery. In the stillness of the night, as the clock struck 2 a.m., they carefully placed the freshly laundered clothes into the back of Ethan's time-worn pickup truck. "I can't feel my fingers," Clara groaned as she settled into the passenger seat, a testament to her resilience in the face of discomfort. "You will miss them when they are gone," Ethan replied, his voice carrying a weight of truth as he started the engine. They journeyed through the serene streets, delivering hope in the form of bundles to a handful of homes. It was serene in an unusual manner, almost like a warm embrace. The silence that enveloped them was not one of discomfort, but rather a gentle ease. In a moment of quiet connection, Ethan offered Clara a small laundry bag, a gesture that spoke volumes. "Kindly place this at the entrance of house number 15, the one illuminated by the welcoming glow of the porch light." With a quiet resolve, Clara nodded and stepped out into the world beyond. As she set the bag down on the stoop and turned to leave, the porch light suddenly flickered out, casting shadows in the twilight. In that moment, a large dog erupted from behind the gate, barking fiercely and racing toward her with unrestrained energy. Clara let out a cry, her body reeling as her ankle twisted awkwardly on the curb. She fell to the ground with a jarring impact, her palms meeting the unforgiving concrete. The truck door closed with a definitive thud. Ethan was already racing toward her with unwavering determination. He arrived at her side just as the dog came to an abrupt halt, its barks echoing with fervor. Ethan positioned himself between them, arms outstretched, and called out with conviction, "Step back!" The dog, taken aback, gracefully withdrew to the sanctuary of the yard. With a gentle yet unwavering resolve, Ethan lifted Clara into his arms, silencing any protest that might have dared to escape her lips. "I asked you to stay in the truck," he said sharply, his grip firm as he carried her back. She whispered, her voice laced with a quiet strength, "I believed I could manage a bag of laundry," as she grasped her aching wrist. With a tender gesture, he placed her inside the cab and closed the door with a resolute finality. In a moment of frustration, he sighed deeply, his hand gliding down his face as he called out to Clara, "I urged you to remain where you are. It is merely a scrape." The scrape means nothing to me, he interjected, his voice carrying a weight of resilience. Your well-being matters deeply to me, and the thought of you being in harm's way is truly concerning. What thoughts crossed your mind? In that moment she beheld a side of him she had never witnessed before, raw, unfiltered anger. Yet intertwined with that fury was a deeper, more vulnerable emotion, fear. She gazed at him for a moment, and then her eyes brimmed with tears, not from the ache in her ankle, but from a sudden, profound surge of emotion that enveloped her heart. No one has ever raised their voice at me out of fear for my well-being, she whispered. Ethan reclined, allowing the weight of the world to lift from his shoulders. In a hushed tone, he remarked, "You find yourself in the wrong house now." Clara brushed away her tears and let out a laugh, a fragile, quivering sound, and in that moment the space around her transformed, no longer resembling a home. It resonated deeply, evoking a sense of belonging, a feeling akin to home. As Clara meticulously folded the towels behind the counter, a glimmer caught her eye. The necklace slipped from its resting place, a moment of unexpected beauty amidst the ordinary. It was a delicate gold chain, slender and graceful, adorned with a single sapphire pendant that captured the light, resembling a drop of blue flame. She had concealed it within the depths of her duffel bag, nestled in an old sock, wishing to leave it behind forever. Yet by some twist of fate it found its way into the laundry, a reminder of what she sought to forget. She stood still, her breath caught in her throat, as she beheld it resting upon the mound of whites. Just as she was about to extend her hand, Ethan strode by, paused, and cast his gaze downward. His eyes fell upon the necklace, a silent testament to stories untold. In that fleeting moment, silence enveloped him. In that moment, he gradually lifted his gaze to meet hers. In that moment, she paused, embracing the stillness around her. That he said softly is not something a struggling student bears within. With a moment of hesitation, Clara reached down and grasped the necklace, carefully tucking it away in her back pocket. "I had forgotten it was hidden away," she whispered softly. "To whom does it belong?" Clara remained silent. Ethan took a moment to pause, his expression reflecting a deepening intensity. "Who are you at your core?" Clara took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. The stillness resonated more powerfully than the most thunderous cry. She finally spoke, revealing that she had turned her back on a realm where every aspect is measured by cost save for love. That is all you truly need to understand. He gazed at her, lost in thought for what felt like an eternity. "Your words were not true to me. I spoke my truth. I withheld certain truths," and Ethan's voice softened. "That is one and the same." Clara's lips quivered, yet she averted her gaze, her hands shaking with unspoken emotion. Have you ever experienced the sensation of being observed in every fleeting moment of your existence, to have others dictate whom to cherish, where to journey, and what to aspire to? No, Ethan said, but I understand the weight of being truthful in the presence of someone who cannot reciprocate that honesty. In that moment they remained still, enveloped by the quietude, with only the gentle hum of machines resonating in the space between them. Clara sensed the swell of tears within her, yet she stood, resolute, determined not to let them escape. Just as silence hung in the air, the door creaked open, inviting the unknown to unfold. A figure clad in a leather Ethernet and ball cap entered, raising a smartphone with purpose. His gaze met Clara's with an intensity that spoke volumes. "There she stands," he whispered, lifting his camera with reverence. Clara felt a sudden stillness, as if the world had paused around her. The man captured a moment in time. "It has been 5 long days since you've been away, my dear. Your father is willing to part with a substantial sum to uncover your whereabouts." With determination, Ethan took a step into the unknown. "Kindly take your leave. Embrace tranquility, my friend." The man declared, capturing another moment, "I am simply fulfilling my purpose." Clara stepped back, a wave of panic rising within her heart. Ethan advanced with purpose. With a firm grip, he took Clara by the arm, guiding her toward the sanctuary of the back exit. "Embark on your journey now." They surged through the rear door, Clara breathless, her thoughts swirling in a whirlwind of emotion. Ethan pressed on, fueled by determination, until he finally arrived at his truck. "What is the story of Sophie?" Clara inhaled sharply, her breath catching in a moment of unexpected revelation. "She is embarking on her journey of learning at school. I will reach her." In that fleeting moment, Sophie found herself enveloped in Ethan's embrace, a swirl of confusion and drowsiness washing over her. With a gentle gesture, Ethan offered her a juice box, securing her safely in the back seat of the truck, a small moment of care in their journey together. Clara stood in quiet astonishment as he steered them not towards their own home, but to the welcoming abode of Mrs. Ramirez, their neighbor. Ethan vowed to protect her, ensuring her safety above all else. "Do you have faith in her?" "With my life," Ethan declared, his voice resolute. Mrs. Ramirez opened the door with a quiet grace, acknowledging him with a subtle nod. "Step inside, my child. I will cherish the little one." Ethan gently bent down, bestowing a tender kiss upon Sophie's forehead. "For a time you will find comfort in the embrace of Grandma Ramirez, won't you? It evokes the warmth and camaraderie of cherished moments, shared in the comfort of friendship." Sophie acknowledged with a gentle nod. "Understood, father." Ethan stood tall, released a breath filled with purpose, and faced Clara with renewed clarity. "Let us embark on this journey together." As they left the familiar confines of the neighborhood, silence enveloped them, only to be broken when they reached the threshold of the town. Clara gazed at him, enveloped in a profound silence, where guilt and gratitude waged a quiet war within her heart. With one hand firmly gripping the wheel, the other lay gently on his thigh, fingers dancing with a quiet rhythm. In that moment, Clara's gaze fell upon the frayed edge of his shirt sleeve, a subtle reminder of the struggles he faced. "Your arm," she said suddenly. What transpired? He cast his gaze upon the bruise blossoming along his bicep. In a moment of confrontation, he forcefully nudged me as I attempted to shield his lens from view. "What held you back from speaking your truth?" Ethan let out a subtle shrug, a gesture that spoke volumes in its quiet simplicity. "Your safety and Sophie's well-being are what truly matter to me. I can endure a bruise for that." Clara gazed at him, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears once more. In that moment, a deep understanding dawned upon her. Ethan's failure to protect her stemmed not from her potential, but from a deeper understanding of the complexities of identity. He accomplished it as a reflection of his true self. They arrived back at the house in the gentle embrace of twilight. Ethan chose to park a block away, exercising caution as he carefully surveyed the surroundings for any unfamiliar vehicles. Clara sat beside him, enveloped in silence, her heart racing with unspoken thoughts. The porch light stood dim, casting shadows in the stillness of the night. A sense of unease lingered in the air. Ethan gestured for her to remain in the truck, yet Clara had already taken the bold step of opening the door. "It is perfectly all right," she expressed. "If someone has arrived, I must confront it head-on." As they journeyed side by side toward the house, a moment of revelation unfolded before their eyes. A black town car stood poised in front of the driveway, its sleek form shimmering softly under the glow of the street lamp. Two men clad in dark suits stood resolutely by the porch, embodying an air of quiet strength and purpose. The front door stood ajar, inviting the world beyond to step inside. Ethan accelerated his stride, driven by an innate sense of urgency. He positioned himself before Clara, a shield against the unknown, as a third figure materialized from within. He possessed an age that spoke of wisdom, standing tall with silver hair, meticulously swept back, his formidable presence enveloping the space like the weight of impending storms. Clara, he urged with a distant chill step into the car. Clara stood still, caught in a moment of stillness. Ethan chose a different path. "You are her father," he inquired, his tone steady. "I am Richard Harrington," the man declared, his gaze piercing and resolute. "You are the one who has been sheltering my daughter." In a moment of vulnerability, I became the man who offered her a couch, a sanctuary when she found herself without a place to call home, Ethan replied. Richard stepped forward with deliberate slowness, his gaze sweeping over the house, a wave of distaste washing over him. This space, this existence, it lies beneath her. It is hard to believe that she has a place among us. "It was she who chose that path," Ethan remarked, "not I. She cannot be confined to this place. I'm not holding anyone captive," Ethan asserted, his voice now resolute, "yet I won't relinquish her as if she were merely an object to be passed along." Winston's gaze deepened with intensity. "Her identity remains a mystery to you," Ethan responded with unwavering conviction, dismissing any concern for her identity. "I understand the essence of who she is, and I am assured of her safety in this place." Clara stepped between them, her voice unwavering, even as her hands trembled with the weight of the moment. "Father, please cease." Richard acknowledged the clarity of the argument, signaling to his companions with a purposeful gesture. "It is time to return to the place where your heart truly belongs. This is where the heart finds its solace," she whispered. He responded with unwavering conviction. "This is the place you sought refuge, yet it is not your true home." Ethan gazed intently at Clara. "There is no obligation for you to leave, yet." Her gaze was already drawn to the car, hinting at a journey yet to unfold. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "I believe I do," Ethan remarked. "You are free to choose your own path." "Indeed they are," she responded, her voice trembling with emotion. "Simply not through words." He grasped the essence. The weight of the burden was not one that could be felt in the body. It was the burden of a life she had sought to leave behind, descending upon her once more. She withdrew from him gradually, as if the very act of haste might unleash unforeseen consequences. He chose not to follow. She pivoted gracefully toward the car. A bodyguard stepped forward and opened the door, revealing what lay beyond. Richard remained silent. His mission was complete. Clara lingered at the brink of the sidewalk, her back turned to Ethan, lost in contemplation. With a gentle voice, she expressed her remorse, her gaze fixed elsewhere. Silence lingered in the air, a moment unfilled by words. Was unable to. The door closed behind her, resonating like the conclusion of a significant journey. Ethan lingered on the porch, watching as the car disappeared into the distance, crimson glimmers merging with the embrace of darkness. His fists were tightly clenched at his sides, his jaw set with determination. Within the walls of the house, a serene stillness enveloped the space. A sense of emptiness enveloped me, a feeling that had been absent for weeks. Silence enveloped him, a profound stillness that spoke volumes. He gently closed the door, extinguishing the glow of the porch light, leaving behind a moment of quiet reflection. In the days that unfolded, a serene stillness enveloped the world. Silence envelops the space. Ethan moved through life with a sense of routine. He stepped into the rhythm of the night, sweeping the streets with purpose, returning home as dawn painted the sky with hope. Yet a certain spark within him had faded. His eyes had lost their spark when Sophie greeted him in the morning. With a quiet determination, he prepared her lunch, gently brushed her hair, and accompanied her to the bus, each action a testament to his unwavering love. He had kept the reason for Clara's absence a secret from her. Sometimes individuals must part ways, and it is essential to understand that their departure does not stem from a lack of care. Sophie remained contemplative, her curiosity quietly simmering beneath the surface. Yet the melody faded from her lips, and the warmth of the light became her solace as she sought refuge in its glow. On the fourth day, a cough began to emerge from her, a subtle reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. Initially, Ethan dismissed it as merely a cold. With each shift of the seasons, she found herself embracing a new discovery. Yet the fever arrived, and then came the chills. Then the relentless shivering persisted, undeterred even by the weight of 3 blankets. As the clock struck midnight, a fervent heat enveloped her being. With a gentle determination, Ethan lifted her into his embrace, cradling her as he approached the truck, his keys trembling softly in his grasp. In the hospital, the fluorescent lights cast a stark glow, intensifying the surroundings. Excessively pale, overwhelmingly radiant, a nurse guided Sophie into triage while Ethan stood behind the front desk, his heart racing as he awaited the moment his name would be called. At last, a woman stepped forward. To gain entry, a deposit of $600 is required, reflecting our commitment to a meaningful experience. Ethan retrieved his wallet, fully aware of the futility of the action. He possessed just a little over $100 to call his own. "Is it possible for me to make a partial payment now?" he inquired. "I will share the remaining details in just a few days." The woman paused, caught in a moment of reflection. "A hospital policy is, please," Ethan uttered, his voice trembling with emotion. At the tender age of 6, she stood there, a beacon of innocence, while he remained ensnared in his argument until a voice emerged, piercing the stillness of the hallway behind him. "I have discovered it." He pivoted. Clara stood there, her coat gracefully draped over her arm, her hair glistening with the gentle touch of the rain outside. With quiet determination, she moved past him, not pausing for a response, and presented her card to the receptionist. She urged, "Place it all in my name." The costs of accommodations, medications, and examinations encompassing every aspect. The nurse's fingers danced across the keyboard with purpose and urgency. "Is there a connection you share with the patient?" Clara gazed at Ethan, her voice steady as she affirmed, "Yes, I do." Ethan remained motionless, his heart heavy, as they guided Sophie toward a room filled with uncertainty. An hour later, after the doctors had confirmed it was a viral infection treatable, yet requiring vigilance, Ethan found himself beside his daughter's bed, his elbows resting on his knees, his head cradled in his hands. Clara stepped in with a gentle grace. He hesitated to raise his gaze at first. As he spoke, his voice carried a gentle, hushed quality. "Your actions were not necessary." She settled into the chair beside him, a quiet presence in the moment. "I understand deeply." He released a breath, trembling with the weight of unspoken thoughts. "My sincerest apologies." "You were never meant to bear this burden." Clara gazed upon Sophie, who lay in slumber, her brow furrowed gently as the warmth of her fever enveloped her. "You did not pull me into this, Ethan. I have returned." He nodded with a measured grace, then his voice lowered once more, heavy with an unspoken weight he refused to reveal. "I understand that you have no obligations to me," he said, "but I am truly grateful for your return." Clara reclined in the chair, her gaze drifting upward to the ceiling, lost in thought for a moment. "You once shared with me that every individual is worthy of a life free from suffering," she expressed. "That applies to hearts as well." In the stillness of the room, a profound silence enveloped them, broken only by the rhythmic beeping of Sophie's monitor and the gentle whisper of the machines around them. After days of turmoil, Ethan finally embraced the gift of breath, not solely for Sophie's safety, but for the profound return of Clara. Clara found herself in the serene embrace of her father's penthouse, the marble hallway stretching before her, each step a whisper on the gleaming floor. The window extended from ceiling to floor, revealing a dazzling skyline, yet it stirred no emotion within her. Her presence transcended the mere beauty of the landscape. Richard Harrington occupied the prominent position at the head of a sleek glass table, engrossed in the financial section of the newspaper. He remained absorbed in his thoughts, oblivious to her arrival. "I knew you would return when the chaos subsided," he remarked with a calm demeanor. I chose not to return, Clara responded. I have arrived to share my thoughts. Richard folded the paper with a serene grace embodying a quiet strength in his movements. Clara, you find yourself in a state of denial, navigating a facade of domestic bliss with a man who tirelessly juggles 3 jobs merely to sustain the flicker of light in your lives. Clara embraced herself with a sense of resolve. That man transformed my life. From what source, he questioned with a hint of disbelief. A moment of unease. You possessed it all, a promising future, unwavering security, a lasting legacy, and yet you cast it aside for... What is this? Clara moved forward with purpose. I chose to hold on to it. I took my leave. There exists a distinction. Richard stood up from his chair, embodying a moment of quiet determination. You sacrificed it all to seek refuge in a humble shoebox alongside a janitor. Clara's voice remained steady and unwavering. He is so much more than a janitor. He embodies the essence of fatherhood, a steadfast presence in his daughter's life, unwavering and dedicated. In just 3 weeks, he imparted lessons of strength that eclipsed the wisdom gathered over 30 years. Richard focused intently, his gaze sharpening with purpose. Are you truly going to select him? Beyond this, above me, she gazed deeply into his eyes. I am embracing the power of choice in my life. My essence resonates. Indeed, the individual who embodies both labor and passion. His lips pressed together, a silent testament to the weight of unspoken thoughts. Do you hold love for him? I affirm my commitment. He released a breath as if the very utterance had pierced his soul. He holds no gifts to offer you. Clara smiled gently. He offers me the essence of what truly counts. Richard moved thoughtfully toward the window. This is not a whimsical story, Clara. Life presents its challenges. In time, the weight of the struggle and the essence of sacrifice may wear on you. Love does not sustain the warmth. Clara gazed after him, her eyes unwavering and filled with purpose. While it may not possess inherent value, it offers a comforting embrace that shields individuals from the chill of life. He pivoted with intensity at last, locking eyes with her, revealing a depth of vulnerability that spoke volumes. Do you believe he has the strength to shield you and the ability to nurture your needs? He has already done so, she remarked. Not through wealth, but through dignity and the unwavering pursuit of truth. In the stillness, time seemed to stretch infinitely. With a purposeful stride, Richard approached the bar, where he filled a glass with a drink, embracing a moment of reflection. He whispered, I never intended to be the villain. Indeed, Clara acknowledged, you have momentarily lost touch with your true self. He gazed into his glass, the weight on his shoulders beginning to lift. He possesses a quality that eludes me, Clara mused, tilting her head thoughtfully. Are you referring to a daughter who embraces him for his true self? He lifted his gaze with intensity. She stood resolute. With a quiet determination, she declared her intention to return to him, to the path she had once embraced. This time I stand resolute, embracing the journey ahead. I am journeying forward, embracing the path ahead. Richard chose not to intervene. He offered no words of remorse. Yet just as she approached the threshold, his voice resonated, halting her in her tracks. Convey to him there was a moment of uncertainty. Convey to him the fortune that graces his path. She paused and looked back. No, she replied with a softness that resonated deeply. I am truly fortunate. And then she stepped forward, embracing the rain, the cacophony, and the essence of her true existence. She forged ahead, unwavering and resolute. The knock resonated softly, arriving just as the first light of dawn began to grace the world. In the heart of the kitchen, Ethan poured his creativity into crafting pancakes that took the form of dinosaurs, a delightful tribute to Sophie's favorite. He gently wiped his hands on a towel, anticipating the arrival of the mailman, or perhaps the warm gesture of Mrs. Ramirez delivering her delightful homemade tamales. As he opened the door, time seemed to stand still. Clara stood there, her hair gathered in a carefree bun, her Ethernet glistening with the gentle touch of morning dew. In her hands, she cradled a humble brown paper bag, a vessel of possibility and quiet promise. For Sophie, she whispered gently, authentic blueberry muffins crafted with care, free from preservatives. Ethan remained silent. I'm not here to stay the night, she added swiftly, her voice unwavering. I am committed to being here if you will welcome me. He gazed into her eyes, seeking any hint of uncertainty, yet discovered only unwavering conviction. We may not possess great wealth, he remarked, his voice carrying a rugged sincerity. Clara moved forward with purpose. I have experienced it all, Ethan. Wealth, exploration, opulence. Yet I have never experienced a kitchen where the magic of dinosaur pancakes was created. I have yet to experience a home that embraces me in return. Ethan gazed at her, the heaviness of countless sleepless nights, unspoken words, and hidden emotions pressing against the surface, yearning to be released. This dwelling may be modest, yet it is sufficient, she remarked, brimming with warmth and love. His gaze became gentle. Our possessions may be few. I had everything, she repeated, her voice now imbued with a gentle warmth. In that moment, I found myself without the embrace of a family. A gentle voice broke through the silence. Is it you, Clara? In that moment, their gaze fell upon Sophie, who stood in the doorway, her small hands gently rubbing the sleep from her eyes. Clara gracefully lowered herself to the ground. Greetings, radiant soul, I have brought muffins to share. Sophie rushed to her, enveloping her in a warm embrace, arms securing around her neck with a sense of belonging. Will you remain with us for all time? Clara gazed upward, her eyes meeting Ethan's with a sense of wonder. He acknowledged with a nod. She smiled even as the tears flowed. Indeed, my dear, the notion of forever resonates beautifully. 2 months later, on a crisp Saturday morning, the park thrummed with the vibrant energy of families, dogs' laughter, and the enticing aroma of fresh food. Ethan's old truck had transformed into a vibrant weekend food stand, a brilliant vision brought to life by Clara. Ethan's melodies, the sign proclaimed. Morning delights, breakfast, burritos, muffins, and a warm cup of coffee. With unwavering dedication, Clara tended to the griddle, her hands skillfully crafting each dish, while Ethan embraced the rhythm of the moment, taking orders with a warm smile. Sophie distributed napkins and stickers to customers, her face beaming with pride. They may not have amassed great wealth, but they found sufficiency, and in doing so, they created something far more valuable, life itself. As Clara skillfully flipped the pancake, she noticed Ethan's gaze upon her, a moment of connection suspended in time. He offered a smile and silently expressed his gratitude. Her smile radiated warmth and joy. In a moment of awakening, she discovered that true royalty resides not in grand palaces but within the depths of her own spirit. She simply required their presence. In the tapestry of existence, the most vibrant threads are woven not from material riches, but from the enduring virtues of kindness, honesty, and the brave choice to embrace love in the face of fear. Ethan possessed little more than a humble couch, a cup of warm water, and a heart brimming with quiet dignity. Yet in those simple offerings, Clara discovered the one thing her life had long been missing, a true sense of home. We are grateful for your presence as you journeyed through this story with us. If this resonates with you, kindly show your support with a thumbs up and share it with someone who cherishes the beauty of second chances and the wonder of simple miracles. Remember to subscribe to Soul-Stirring Stories for more uplifting narratives that nurture the spirit, inspire the heart, and illuminate the transformative power of compassion. Until we meet again in the next tale,